Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Three Stacks in this thing, baby. And today I'm going to be going over an update well, not even an update actually. This is the first time I've done this on my channel. I'm showcasing to you guys pure Super Quantums, which is basically Power Rangers. I've done variations with it and mixed it as a hybrid variation because I feel that this deck, lacks in a lot of different areas on its own, and it's very hard for it to outperform specific archetypes. And for that reason alone, it's why I've always splashed it as an engine with a lot of different decks, because it's a very, very good toolbox engine. It provides a lot of spot removal, and it grants a very, very slight control edge to pretty much any archetype or strategy that you would like to pilot just by implementing this kind of engine in your deck. It also it provides a percentage of higher ceiling to your deck, being that it provides, abilities that most decks don't actually have, and also grants you the chance to actually summon a card like Magnus, which completely changes the tide of any duel no matter what deck you're playing, because obviously once you make the card right, he's pretty much invincible, and if you can't kaiju him, you can't really win. And he has all these other effects that we'll get into later. But overall, I just find that Super Quantum as an archetype is also something that you can explore. I'm not telling you it's the best deck in the world. I'm just saying that it's something that you could try out. I wanted to showcase you guys a semi-competitive build, one that actually is enabling you to pretty much spam as much as you possibly can, and try to turbo out Great Magnus turn 1. And if you're not able to turbo him out, you'll just be able to summon multiple of the Megazoids, the XYZ Super Quantums, and they all have spell speed 2 effects that allow you to just disrupt your opponent. You complement that with, if you want to play hand traps and impermanents and stuff like that, you have yourself a very, very good disruption toolbox-esque effect, deck. So let's hop right into the build. So we have, to start off, our best starter card for the deck is actually Super Quantal Fairy Alphen. This card starts up so many chain links, and also it kind of just snowballs into different advantage. It allows you to accumulate a +2, being that it's going to get you a monster on field, which will grant its effect. And then it also gets you 2 other effects in graveyard, so you're getting 3 different effects off of 1 card, which is crazy. And some of them grant you card economy, like the Blue Ranger and the Green Ranger. Some will net you advantage from your graveyard, like the red one. Overall, you're going to add up to 3 cards from your deck and or graveyard to hand, which is really good. So I just love the card at 3. Like I said, it's the best starter. It also has this amazing ability to modify. You can target basically 1 quantum and modify the levels of all monsters on your field, regardless of what kind of monsters they are. They don't even have to be quantums, and they all become that level. So if you want to make bigger XYZ pushes, if you want to summon something like that requires 4 level 4s or 3 level 5s, you can go that route just by targeting one of your quantums, make them all other monsters that monster's level, which is really cool. So Alphen's just an amazing card overall. I took the time to explain him because he's the most important of the Power Rangers. He's the support, and he's pretty much their Stratos on crack. Speaking of Stratos, we also play Triple Blue Ranger. She actually is the searcher of the deck, but she is complemented by the fact that we play 3 Alphens. And what she does, every Power Ranger that's not Alphen has an effect on summon, and also an effect if they're sent to the graveyard. And it doesn't have to be sent from the field, it's just if they're sent to the graveyard. So they are very much like Burning Abyss, being that no matter which way you send them, even if you just detach them as a material, they are going to get their if and not when effects. Which is really incredible. So she's going to be searching on summon, and if she gets to the graveyard, she can target up to 3 quantums in your grave, shuffle them back into your deck. You do not draw a card. I wish that she had that effect. She'd be an amazing +1 of the deck, but she's still overall just a well-rounded and balanced and not overpowered card. Then we also play my favorite as far as artwork goes, 3 Green Rangers. My favorite color is green as well. I really love Green Ranger. Can we just take the time to just look at the artwork of this card? You can't say that this guy does not look awesome. He just looks like you just don't want to mess with him, bro. I mean, look at what's going on with him. Like, this guy just looks just absurdly incredible. What he does is on summon, he specials any quantum from your hand, and then when he hits the grave, he allows you to discard a super quant card and draw. That's really good because obviously, even if they're sent to the grave for cost, they still get their effects because they do not have to be sent to the graveyard by card effect. They just have to be sent to the graveyard. That's why I reference Burning Abyss, so that you can grasp the grand concept of how their graveyard effects work. We also play another really good starter card, being 3 Red Ranger. For some reason, this card is like 40 bucks right now. I'm just blessed that I've had Super Quantums, pretty much since they came out in the Wing Raiders. which was a while ago. It was basically when like we kind of got introduced to the Raid Raptors and other archetypes and stuff like that. But well, not necessarily introduced. I'm sorry. That's also when we got like high speed riders around the same era. So the format and overall Yu-Gi-Oh changed around that time. I guess not gradually, but it kind of just changed drastically. So what Red Ranger does, which by the way he looks awesome as well, is on summon he's gonna grab you any super quant card from your graveyard to your hand. And then if he's sent to the graveyard, he is a monster reborn for any super quant monster. It could be your XYZs or your main deck monsters. So overall, he is a floater in general, and he manipulates your graveyard very well. Allows you to outlast your opponent just in terms of card economy. This card is a very, very good follow-up. A lot of the times you can abuse him in a way to make him become an extender, which he's not meant to be that, but you can force him to be that in a lot of different scenarios. There's so many different applications that this card has for the deck. I'm so glad that they made all these effects because they overall, like I said, they just make this a toolbox kind of engine. The entire Super Quant archetype is just toolboxy. So you only have 4 Super Quant monsters that exist that are able to be played in the main deck. So I absolutely maximize on them because this is pure Super Quants. You want to see as many of them as possible. It's very important to see your Alpha, and it's very important to have targets in your deck for Alpha at all times. Then I play a Plant Engine. I play 3 Lone Fires as well as 3 Scorpios and the 1 Cobra that goes with it. Reason being is because in order to set up your board the way you want, you need at least 2 link zones just opened up freely for you. But I much prefer 3, and it's easy to make Skull Dread with your Plant Engine because you're going to get well over 4 monsters on your board. And also because they discard the Osiris Scorpio discards a monster, you can obviously have a separate chain link of any of the super quants that you discarded because they do not miss timing. They're if effects, and they do not have to be semi-card effect, as I previously aforementioned in this video. So Plant Engine is amazing, really helps you. Fixes a lot of the problems. This is a mitigation and or supplement for the I guess you could say not necessarily like a curvature, but it's like the scaling of the deck is really different now because of Master Rule 4. And I guess in a sense, it really got power crept. It really did get power crept because you need to be able to summon multiple XYZs turn 1 in order to make Magnus. And you obviously can't do that if you don't have link zones that open up into your main monster zone. So the plants help you to go into cards like Skull Dread and Decode Talker and stuff like that so that you can do what the deck is meant to do. I also play 2 copies of Summoner Monk. We have 1 Trick Clown and 1 Garnet as a part of the Brilliant package. You can also play Snow, but I really felt that my graveyard is valuable, and the only really expendable resources would be, you know, like the plants, but a vast majority of my cards are super quant cards and are very important. So I find that Lost Snow is really awesome. It's like in so many scenarios, she overall, like the cards that you can banish, you really don't want to banish them. So I chose the Trick Clown. It's just, you know, you pay 1,000 instead of banishing 7, but where Snow comes in is it actually helps you in the long run in the grind game, and it provides a additional disruption that you can apply to your first turn board. That concludes the monster count. We play no hand traps in this build because I'm currently testing it kind of as a pseudo competitive / fun deck, meaning that if I really wanted to play this deck competitively, I absolutely own every hand trap that exists right now. So I could totally just pick and choose which ones I wanted to play. And just for the simple fact that you guys know I have hand traps, you know I have a very good reason for not playing them in this deck. This is a very combo-oriented deck. And its disruption comes in the form of its own arsenal, its own repertoire, you know. It's really, really good at doing what it does, and I find that right now I'm enjoying it the way it is without hand traps. Then for our spells, we have Triple Brilliant Fusion. Brilliant Fusion is kind of one of the bread and butter plays of the deck. That's why I actually maximize on my ways to get to this, playing the plants. If there was a way to search Brilliant Fusion minus the plants without restricting myself to only fusion summoning, I would definitely play more ways to get to Brilliant, because Brilliant is so important for the deck. And when I say so important, it is not even an understatement. It truly is that important. I also play Triple Foolish Burial Goods. Now I'm going to have to continue laying out my spell lineup, and then I'll definitely explain, because there are some card choices that people would question, but I myself kind of have this weird way of thinking. I don't know why I have this, but the way my mind works when I build decks is just so strange. Like, the way I do things, so I'm gonna have to explain it. But let's go ahead and lay out the rest of our spells. We have triple Pot of Desires. Pretty much everything you need is at 3, and as long as you don't banish all 3 of them, it's pretty easy. You know, and obviously your one-ofs like the Plant and the Garnet, you're gonna be able to get those out of your deck before you pot. We have our field spell, Carrier, and the double Terraforming because it's at 2. We're gonna explain the spells as soon as we finish. We have 2 Called by the Grave. Obviously, it's at 2. We have the 1 Metaphor's Fusion. We have Quantum Alpha Strike, just 1. I'm going to explain every spell as soon as I lay them out. We have the 1-ups, Foolish, E-Telly. We have 1 for 1. We have Monster Reborn, and we have Soul Charge. Really good 1-ups. Now that we've laid out all of our spells, which is the next portion of the deck, there are no traps in here. I can go to explain exactly why, you know, I play certain cards. Bring Fusion, hands down, can explain itself. Obviously, as I explained to you, I want link zones opened up every turn 1 so that I can consistently pump out multiple of my Megazoids. And overall, I just want to go into the best Power Ranger, the Great Magnus. Because ultimately, this card has very little flaws in his design, and I think that Konami did a good job at creating a monster that, while it seems very overpowered when made, that's not easy to make, so it kind of balances out it being so broken. So you have the triple Brilliant Fusion helping you to get into him. We also have triple Foolish Burial Goods. The reason why I played 3, this applies to multiple different things in the deck. So the first thing is you can send your Metaphor's Fusion in order to get its effective draw. That's one way you can abuse it. I've played Foolish Burial Goods with Metaphor's Fusion ever since Foolish Burial Goods came out in Rage and Tempest. I've always played it as an engine. Check out my Herald of Perfection profiles. You'll see that the very first day when Rage and Tempest was legal, I was already playing triple Foolish with Metaphor. So I've been on that. And then the best target for Foolish Burial Goods is definitely the Super Quantum Alpha Strike. This card is amazing on activation. We'll get to that when we get to it. But its graveyard effect basically allows you to activate your field spell by banishing it from grave and an Alpha. So you basically, a Foolish Burial Goods becomes your terraforming for your field spell. And believe it or not, you can't actually make your plays without your field spell. The field spell is very important. It's how you're going to be summoning Magnus. It's how you're going to be doing 1 card XYZs, the equivalent to Zodiac. It's just... Overall, it's just a great field spell. It's not once per turn. It allows you to do a lot of different things. So Foolish Burial Goods is 3 more terraformings because you play this target. That's why I played 3 Foolish Burial Goods, because terraform is at 2. You really need to see the field spell, and I unfortunately only own 2 copies to my name. Otherwise, I personally would be playing 3, but I only have 2, as I explained. Then the triple pot. Pot is very important for this deck, not only because it's a +1, but because your field spell has to discard for cost. So you need to keep up with your card economy. You need to keep up and manage your resources very properly. You have to play this deck responsibly. You cannot be greedy. There is no such thing as overextending when playing a deck like this. You have to commit properly. You have to time your plays right. You have to know when to go and when to stop. Basically, your red light, green light kind of thing. So triple pot, hands down, very important. Then we have our field spell, the Magna Carrier. It's a really great card. It discards a card to target any Power Ranger, which is the main deck ones. And you basically summon a Super Quant Megazoid on top of them, which is the XYZs, using them as a material. So you have 1 card XYZs, basically. It's Zodiacs before Zodiacs came out. Its other ability actually allows you to special summon Magnus, but I'm going to have to read that part because it's very peculiar how you do it. But ultimately, you use it to summon Magnus by using 3 super quants with different names from your extra deck. But I'm going to read it so you get the specific of it in general. So you can send this card from your field zone to the graveyard. If you want to get that effect, you just send it from the field to the grave. Target 3 Super Quantum Mech Beast XYZs with different names that you control and or in your graveyard, which is a major plus. Because in the grind game, this card can be a 1-card Magnus without expending resources if you already have distributed evenly to summon your Zoids. And for example, your opponent killed them, then you could just play this 1 card, drop a Magnus, not like turn 1, but in the middle of that turn just with 1 card, which can kind of just shift the tide of the game in your favor. And then you summon Great Magnus and you attach every one of those monsters. And if they had XYZ materials, you also attach their materials to Magnus. So this card can easily make Magnus with, anywhere between, 4, 6, 7, sometimes 7 materials, which is really good. It's very easy to do so. You just have to, like I said, manage your resources properly. Do terraforming to search your field spells is very important. Double Call by the Grave. because you do not want to get ghost ogred when you activate this field spell. But thank God it's more than once per turn, and thank God that you can search it and recycle it, so it's not always the end of the world. But that's why we play the Call by the Graves, and also Alfin. He does special summon. Well, I'm sorry. It's the way he's worded is weird, but he basically reveals three with different names. Your opponent randomly picks one, and that one that they pick gets summoned. But I still believe that you can Ash Blossom him, and for that reason, Call by the Grave is more important. And I obviously explained these. I will tell you this on activation is busted. If you control all three of your Rangers, if you control Alpha and two other Rangers, all of them have to be different names. You shuffle as many cards as your opponent controls as possible into their deck, which would basically be all of them. And it doesn't target, doesn't destroy. And then your opponent gets to summon one monster from their extra deck, which is it doesn't even matter. You can pop it or shuffle it with Magnus. The point is, this is retarded. It's better than evenly sometimes, because you're able to play it without sacrificing your battle phase. So you can just completely wipe your opponent's board and then attack them for game. Whereas evenly, you have to sacrifice your battle phase. So this card is amazing. It's just like the equivalent of evenly, except it's more balanced and it's easier to use. And you can even search it because it's a super quant card. Foolish is for toolboxing because all of your super quant Power Rangers have graveyard effects. So Foolish is the equivalent of Rhoda or a starter card. You can get any effect that you want off of them. E-Telly because your Blue Ranger is a psychic, and being able to summon her without normal summoning is incredible. It can act as another searcher for your field spell or just to get super quant names, which is very important when we get to the extra deck. 1-for-1 because Alphin's a level 1, and like I said, he's the best starter, and these are just really good extenders in general. So that's the Stell lineup. That's the main deck, by the way. Now we're going to go into the extra deck, you guys. Starting off, we have Two of the King himself, Great Magnus. If you watch Power Rangers back in the day, you know how the little Zoids will all come together to form like a giant Megazoid. He is the giant Megazoid. He has a lot of amazing effects. So when he has two materials, two or more, you can, during the other player's main phase, detach, shuffle one card from the field to the deck. Doesn't target, doesn't destroy. Completely ignores a lot of durability statistics of different cards, because some cards are so amazing in the grind game because they can't be destroyed and targeted and stuff like that. He pretty much gets over anything as long as it is able to be affected by a monster effect. The other ability is, if he has 4 more materials, he's unaffected by all card effects except for super quant cards. And while he has 6 or more materials, neither player can add cards from deck to hand except if they're super quant cards. So basically, I'm the only one who can add cards to hand, which is retarded, except for your draw phase. Your draw phase, you can still draw for turn, but you can't Desires, you can't Demise, you can't Duality. You can't just do anything, really, as far as, like searching goes and just playing consistent starter cards. He completely shuts down the meta. And he has an even more broken effect, as if the 3 effects weren't enough. If this card gets sent to the graveyard, regardless of whether he was on the field or not, you can even Gale Dogger him if you wanted to, as long as you had targets legally first. He can target up to 3 of the little Megazoids, which are these guys, in your grave, and special summon them from your graveyard. They obviously have to be properly summoned. We know that. But he can basically just revive all 3 of them, and then you can make another Magnus. So if your opponent ever thinks that they're beating you by Kaijuing him, you tribute him for a Kaiju. He was sent to the grave. His effect goes from grave. You better have a ghost spell at that point. Otherwise, I'm summoning 3 of my Zoids with different names, and I'm going to send my field spell whenever I'm ready and summon a second Magnus. Just cards redundant. It's just such a powerful boss monster. It's retarded, and it's 36, so it's not like you're running it over by battle. We have 2 Magna Liners. I'm going to pick these up very, very soon. Magna Liner is the rank 5 not Super Zoid, but he's just like a basic Megazoid. What he does is he can pop a monster in the field. And all the baby, I'll just drop them right now. All the baby Zoids, like the little Megazoids, their effects become spell speed 2 if they have super quantums under them as a material, because they are generic. Any deck can make these XYZs. But in their own deck, there are spell speed 2 effects. These remind me of Constellar Pleiades and Omega and cards like that back in the day that were able to disrupt your opponent on their own. So he pops a monster during either player's turn, basically. He's a Book of Moon during either player's turn. He's an MST during either player's turn. And they all say once per turn you can attach a... I don't even think it's once per turn. I just think it's you can just, yeah, like you could just attach one super quantum monster from your hand to them as a material. That helps because when you make your Magnus, you're giving him more of his effects. If as long as you can make him with 6 or more, you've pretty much just won the duel, because you don't have to detach from him to shuffle a card if you don't want. So you can absolutely keep your opponent from searching, keep them from touching this card, and he's just there and you're gonna win. So you have your basically your monster popper, your Book of Moon, and your MSC spot removal for everything. And they're all during the player's turn. That's why I said you pump out disruptions. And then we have some links. We have Skull Dread. You're trying to make him every turn 1. If you open up with the plant, you absolutely are making Skull Dread hands down. We have Decode Talker. We have Unicorn, Cerberus, Phoenix, Underclock Taker. Those are the only links that we play. And then we have Exciton Knight, because the card's off the ban list. Really easy to make in this deck. High ceiling card. If your deck can make Ring Force, why would you not play this card? And that's concluding the deck profile. Now what I'm going to do, let me check the time first. If I have enough time, if the video is not too long, I will do a combo. And if not, we'll do it in a separate video. Let's see. Okay, we're 20 minutes in, you guys. Okay. For some reason, I thought that this video was, you know, like half an hour in, because I know I went very, very in-depth in explanations with this. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a test hand. Well, really like a combo. So let's say your opening is like this. And unfortunately, the combos aren't like 2 and 3 card combos. Sometimes they're 3. A lot of the times it's 4 card combos. So that's the really unfortunate thing. But basically, you just have to open up with like a plant, a way to get the field spell, and just a lot of quantums, right? Just a lot of quantums in hand. So we can open with him. And let's go ahead and do it as if like we have like that. So this will be able to be a really, really good opening. The deck's nowhere near by the stretch of any stretch of the imagination. Incredible top tier deck. Don't ever take it as that. I never mentioned that. I never said that. It's just a really fun, cool deck, and if you can pull off what it's supposed to do, it can be I guess you can say a semi-contender, like a tier 3 kind of deck. Tier 3 is not great, but you know, it can be tier 2.5-ish depending on how you end up getting paired in your matchup. So we're going to summon Red Layer, because if you control no monsters, there's other effect as you can just special summon him. So we're going to summon him. We're going to no more plant. We're going to discard, you know, a random monster, the 5th card in your hand. Just discard that monster if it's a monster. We're going to go ahead and summon out our Cobra. We're going to search our Brain Fusion. Okay, and then at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to activate our Brain Fusion, and we're going to send Garnet and Tricklown, right? Tricklown's going to get summoned on a separate chain link. Oh crap, you know what? I forgot my, I forgot something. I forgot my Seraphonite, whoops. So I need to really just screw the underclock. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't even realize that I didn't put my Seraphonite in my extra deck because it's in my Gym Knights, right? Like, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. I really, please forgive me for that hiccup. I don't even know what I was thinking when I didn't put the Seraphonite in my extra deck. Oh my goodness. I'm such a scrub right now. But yeah, we're going to summon our Seraphonite. So, as far as the extra deck, Underclock Taker, take it out. Seraphonite's supposed to be there. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. I put everything in but Seraphonite. Clearly, you know, I'm not like wide awake. I mean, it is 4 in the morning, but still, like, dang, come on, 3 stacks, you messing up big time. Okay, so we've got that out. We've got obviously you have a Skull Dread play. It doesn't matter what cards you draw. It actually really doesn't. I guess we can just, you know, shuffle the deck just to see what we draw, but it doesn't matter what you draw because you're just gonna work solely off of this, what you already have. So let's go ahead and shuffle the deck though, because who knows, you might draw like Soul Charge or something like that, and then at that point, you know, obviously there's so many different things that you can do at this point. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our extra normal summon first. Quantum Fairy Alphen is a whenever you want kind of thing. It's not an on summon, it's a regular once per turn effect, so you can trigger him whenever you want. So you've got your second normal summon off Seraphonite. Now you can link off with this. You don't want to link off with your Power Ranger. It's ideal to leave it there so you can stack an XYZ on top of it. So we're going to use these 4 monsters with different names. We're gonna work with Skull Dread on the left hand side, the left extra monster zone. So we're gonna make him. We're gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4. That's incredible. Since we got all of our important one-ofs out of the deck, Pot of Desires is looking very tempting. We're gonna have to put 3 back. As far as utility goes, I would say that Pot of Desires is probably the best choice. So we're gonna need the cards anyway. So yeah, Pot of Desires looking really good right now. So yeah, looking really good. While it didn't matter, like that was awesome that we actually drew the pot. So because you do get the discard fodder off of your Alphen, because it's gonna grant you basically 3 cards to your hand, which is the 3 discards that you need literally to get the 3 XYZs, which is perfect. So don't ever assume that you're not gonna get the resources that you need. So you're gonna tribute off Alphen, you're gonna reveal these 3. And because it is random, what we're going to have to do is we're going to turn them face down. And we're going to shuffle them. I really got to shuffle them good so that I don't even know what I'm grabbing. Okay, I'm going to keep shuffling them. And then we're just going to do any, mini, money. Okay, any, mini, money, mo. Catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. Alright, so that's Mo. Okay, cool. Well, ideally, it probably would be better to summon the red layer, because you can get its effect on summon to add a graveyard, a resource on graveyard. But either way, you can still pretty much do what you got to do at this point. So you get separate chain links. You got chain link 1, affect the blue layer. Let's go ahead and summon her in Skull Dread Zone so you can get him as chain link 1, chain link 2, blue ranger, chain link 3, green ranger. Well, no chain link 3 green ranger, just chain link 3 red ranger. And what red ranger is gonna do is gonna summon the green ranger. This is gonna net us a search. Let's go ahead and search something that we can get as another good discard. Let's search the Green Ranger. Okay. And now what we can do after that is we can go ahead and pot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ill. That's a nasty pot. We didn't draw anything good. But the question is, what did we banish? We banished 2 Power Rangers and an Alphen and both the Brilliants. So we weren't going to use Brilliant anymore anyway, so that's pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and activate our field spell. We're going to discard our Green Ranger, target the Red Ranger, put his XYZ on him, 2,900 now. And then this card's going to activate on a separate chain. Discard this quant card, draw a card. We drew another Green Ranger. That's pretty okay, I guess. And then we're going to go ahead and discard green for green. Then we're going to go ahead and discard this dead pot that I hate for blue. It sucks that we did summon the Blue Ranger, because like it's better to summon green off of Alphen, because that way you can get the 3 cards you need off of resolving the Alphen. Like most people will be very tempted to summon blue because she's a searcher, but in order to get the resources you need, it's better to summon the green. But also it's better to summon red. Also, if you have a blue in hand, you can get lucky and hit the green, and the green will summon the blue from hand, and then the red will summon something else, and then you'll have like a snowball. So you have all 3 of the Zoids. They're going to use your field spells effect, and you're going to send it to the grave, and you're going to stack all of these, and you're going to go ahead and summon your Magnus. So first turn Magnus. Like I said, this deck doesn't do 2 and 3 card combos. It's naturally like sometimes 3, a lot of times 4. A lot of the times, because it's so resource intensive, because you have all these discard for cost-esque effects, which is why I play 3 pots, that's why you end up like spitting out pretty much your whole hand. But the benefit is these 3 Power Rangers as XYZ materials will net more advantage as the duel progresses. So this can turn into another draw. This can turn into a Monster Reborn, which you can basically just go into a whole nother XYZ. This will put back the resources you need because pot can sometimes banish your other copies from deck. So if you're working with the ones in grave and the rest were banished, you can always just use her to put them back. So overall, you're still going to be able to accumulate some advantage. But you got your Skull Dread and your Magnus. This alone pretty much says your opponent can't search. They can't touch him, and he can shuffle whatever he wants whenever he wants. And he has exactly 6 materials, which is perfect. So yeah, that's a little combo for you guys. As long as you open up with like a plant, you know, a way to get your field spell, and just some either an Alphen or some Power Rangers in your hand, you can do that. But I'm still tweaking the deck. I'm still figuring out different ways that we can go that route. Sorry, I forgot about this Draft Night again. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out different ways that we can go that route without wasting so much. Because you guys see like how much that I had to really get rid of just to summon that Great Magnus. That really, really hurts sometimes. But overall, like I told you guys, this is not the best deck in the world. Don't take it as I'm telling you, oh, take this to YCS or regionals. You have to be very faithful and very confident to want to take a deck like this. But I do think that this list that I've created for it is probably going to be one of the best lists, if not the best list that you can play as far as pure Super Quantums. There's no real content out on YouTube right now that's showcasing any way on how to play the deck, or you know, any functionality on its basic plays. And there's no real blueprint that people have right now in this day and age, in this current, you know, 2018 for this kind of deck. So I kind of wanted to be that guy that shine some light on the deck, like I always do for every rogue deck. I love to shine some light on them, try to kind of just remind you, hey, they still exist, hey, they're still pretty decent. Sometimes these decks are better than what I think they are, but you know, my love for rogue decks is not a love that says, oh, they're the best in the world. My love for them is just like, this deck is better than what you think. So when I say that, it's like, don't ever take it as I'm saying, oh, this is the best deck in the world. I'm saying it's better than what you think, because people overlook it and they underestimate it, and then they lose to a card like this, and that it's very real. And, you know, even if they out this card, like, it's going to have a graveyard effect. It's going to just, stuff is going to snowball. You're going to summon your 3 Zoids. You're going to get the 3 effects of the Power Rangers in grave. You're going to get a lot of advantage. So if your opponent kaijus you, you're literally going to get 3 cards to field and 3 cards to hand, which is broken. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. I really do appreciate you guys for showing love to my channel and being faithful to me. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And y'all have a beautiful day, all right? Peace.